Imagine looking across an open field and seeing thousands of horsemen racing straight toward you. Within hours, your army is gone. Within days, your city has surrendered. Within years, your kingdom no longer exists. For nearly a century, this became reality across Asia and Europe. The Mongols didn't just win battles, they built the largest connected land empire in history, stretching from the Pacific Ocean across China, Central Asia, Russia, and into Eastern Europe. So how did a group of nomads from the Mongolian steppe become the most feared army the world had ever seen? It all started with one man. Before he was known as Genghis Khan, he was a boy named Temujin. His father was poisoned when he was still young, leaving his family abandoned on the harsh Mongolian steppe. Not long after, Temujin was captured and forced into slavery. Most people would have accepted their fate. He escaped. Over the next several years, he united tribes that had spent generations fighting one another. Instead of rewarding people because of family or status, he promoted those who proved themselves in battle. His army grew stronger with every victory. In 1206, the tribes declared him Genghis Khan, universal ruler. But becoming their leader was only the beginning. Over the next 2 decades, kingdom after kingdom fell. Cities that had stood for centuries suddenly disappeared. People everywhere began asking the same question: how are they doing this? Most people assumed the Mongols simply had larger armies. They didn't. Many of their enemies outnumbered them. The difference was how they fought. Every Mongol warrior grew up on horseback. Many carried multiple horses, allowing them to travel incredible distances without slowing down. While other armies marched for weeks, the Mongols could appear hundreds of miles away before anyone expected them. But speed wasn't their greatest weapon. Their strategy was. Imagine finally catching the Mongol army after days of chasing them. As your soldiers charge, the Mongols turn around and flee. You think you've won, so you order everyone to chase them, exactly what they wanted. As your army stretches farther apart, your formation begins to fall apart. Then suddenly, the Mongols stop, turn around, and thousands of arrows fill the sky. The retreat had been fake all along. By the time commanders realized what was happening, it was already too late. Entire armies were destroyed by this single tactic, and this was only the beginning of what made the Mongols nearly impossible to stop. But clever tactics alone weren't enough to conquer half the world. The Mongols also understood something most armies didn't. Information wins wars. Long before an invasion began, Mongol scouts were already inside enemy territory. Disguised as merchants and travelers, they mapped roads, counted soldiers, located food supplies, and found the weakest points in city walls. By the time the main army arrived, they already knew exactly what they were up against. Then came the choice: surrender or fight. Many cities opened their gates immediately, others didn't. One of the most famous examples involved the Khwarezm Empire. Genghis Khan originally wanted trade, not war. He sent a caravan of merchants west. Instead, they were arrested and executed. Genghis Khan demanded the governor responsible be punished. The ruler refused. That single decision doomed an empire. The Mongols invaded with incredible speed. City after city fell. Within only a few years, the Khwarezm Empire had been shattered. News spread quickly across Asia. If the Mongols offered you the chance to surrender, you seriously considered it, because everyone knew what happened if you resisted. But even when battles couldn't be avoided, the Mongols still held the advantage. Their greatest weapon was the composite bow, small enough to use on horseback, powerful enough to pierce armor from surprising distances. A skilled rider could fire arrow after arrow while galloping at full speed. Imagine trying to fight an enemy that never stopped moving. Every time you charged, they disappeared, still firing arrows behind them. If you chased them, you risked another trap. If you stayed where you were, the arrows kept coming. Then there was their discipline. Even spread across miles of open land, Mongol riders moved almost as one. Using flags, horns, and mounted messengers, commanders could redirect entire sections of the army within minutes. To their enemies, it looked almost impossible. One moment the Mongols were retreating, the next, they were attacking from multiple directions at once. By now, kingdoms across Asia had learned a terrifying lesson. The Mongols weren't just faster, they always seemed to know exactly what their enemy was going to do before they did. And somehow, their greatest victories were still ahead of them. Before long, the Mongols had reached places nobody thought possible. They swept through northern China, they crushed the Khwarezm Empire, they invaded Russia, then they crossed into Eastern Europe. In 1241, European kingdoms finally tried to stop them. At the Battle of Legnica, heavily armored European knights faced the Mongols. Many believed this would finally be the army that defeated them. Instead, the Mongols won. Only days later, another Mongol force crushed the Hungarian army at the Battle of Mohi. Within weeks, two of Europe's strongest armies had been defeated. Panic spread across the continent. It seemed like nothing could stop the Mongols, and honestly, there was a real chance they would have pushed even farther into Europe. But then something happened that nobody expected. Ogedei Khan, the son and successor of Genghis Khan, died. Many Mongol leaders returned east to choose the next great Khan. The invasion of Europe slowed, then it stopped. Not because Europe had finally defeated them, but because events thousands of miles away changed the Mongols' priorities. Even after that, the Mongol Empire remained enormous. At its height, it stretched from the Pacific Ocean across China, Mongolia, Central Asia, and into Eastern Europe. No empire before it had ever controlled so much connected land. So, why was the Mongol army so unstoppable? It wasn't one secret. It was dozens of small advantages working together. Unmatched speed, brilliant tactics, careful planning, constant intelligence gathering, relentless discipline, and a reputation so terrifying that some cities surrendered before the battle even began. They didn't just defeat armies, they outthought them. They made commanders fight on their terms, and by the time many enemies realized what was happening, it was already too late. Eventually, the empire split apart. Its borders disappeared, its rulers faded into history, but the way the Mongols fought changed warfare forever. Nearly 800 years later, military academies still study their campaigns because the greatest weapon the Mongols ever had wasn't their horses or their bows. It was their ability to stay one step ahead of everyone they fought. And that's what made them one of the most feared armies in history.